this little guy is absolutely frickin-diculous. And if it looks a heck of a lot like an integrally suppressed short barrel rifle, I would forgive that. But this absolutely is not. This is the Jet 2 from Hatsan, and that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Cue the cinematic intro. Artistic for YouTube purposes.
The Hatsan Jet 2 is a manually cycled, pre-charged pneumatic air rifle. It comes in a couple different configurations, including a pistol and a rifle. You can see where the takedown points are on the stock, so you can remove it if you want to shorten it down for storage. This is the QER version that sports an additional integrally suppressed module on the end, making it sound like one of those BB guns from your childhood with the punch of a modern PCP. As such, this variant comes in just over 4 pounds and just over 31 inches in length. It is available in 177, 22, and 25 calibers. The controls are pretty intuitive, with the only real hidden feature being the safety catch located in the trigger guard. It runs off of a 6-round rotary magazine that is charged by spinning the spring and dropping pellets into the ports. It comes with 2. The Jet 2 runs off of 2 small 250 bar cylinders located underneath of the barrel, and this gives approximately 40 shots at full velocity. The bottom cylinder houses the fill port, and the top one the manometer to denote the pressure. The Jet 2 is fully adjustable for both length of pull and cheek height, and interestingly has 2 sets of high-vis fiber optic sights that can stow if you're using optics. More on those in a minute. There are 3 accessory rails for all of your toys, but they also offer additional air cylinders in different colors for those of you who want to add a little bit of flair. Let's get to the range and see what this thing can do.
This variant of the Jet 2 is 25 caliber. There are other ones, but 25 caliber puts about middle of the range, and it is a lever operated weapon here. Drop my magazine. It runs off of this 6-round rotary magazine. Go ahead and slip that right in there, close that, and right out the gate we're going to see what kind of energy we can expect out of this thing. We're shooting, these pellets are going to be about 30 grain. All right, man, well, what kind of application do you have for something like this? Fair warning, I'm gonna get weird on you here for a second. For any of you who've been following the channel for the last couple of years and any of my social media, you'll know that I am a hobbyist beekeeper. I've got 9 colonies, and they're located about 500 yards in that direction. And they're doing pretty good. They've been pretty successful this year, and we're gonna go ahead and knock on some wood to make sure that that continues to be that way. But One of the things that can really mess with your colonies are small mammals, pests, if you will, particularly groundhogs. They don't really hurt the colony any, but my bee yard is pretty well mannered, as in, like, if you walk into it, like 6 months ago, for instance, I left a tool out there and I needed to go get it. I didn't wear my suit or anything, just walked in there, grabbed the tool, walked right back out, and no problems whatsoever. However, now I have a groundhog problem, and those groundhogs climb all over the boxes and scratch them up and things like that, and it pisses the bees off. And then the next time they see a mammal, they get pissed off and try to sting it. I am a mammal. It can mess with the temperament of the insects. So the reason I want something like this is because I think that this thing is right at the power factor. I've already shot a couple groundhogs with this and it does a good job, but I don't think that it's powerful enough to get through the material that I use for the bee boxes that I make. So we're gonna test all of that here today, but one of the things that is really interesting about this thing is, while I am not super hip on the fact that this thing doesn't come with standard Picatinny rail across the top, it does have 2 sights that you can zero at different ranges. So first things up, we're gonna zero these things up at different ranges and see how easy that is to do. I don't read instruction manuals, thank you very much. But through trial and error, I figured out that this one needs to be the close range sight and this one needs to be the far range sight. And that makes sense when you think about it, because the shorter the sight radius, the more the graduations are worth. So that makes sense. So what we're gonna do is just demonstrate that I've got it zeroed. 25 yards, this target right here. And then a much shorter target, or smaller target out there at 50 yards. I hope the camera picks that up. Earlier I was talking about bee boxes and what they're made out of. They're usually made out of 1-inch pine, and I just so happen to have an analog to that. I'm going to set this over there against the rack, and we're going to shoot it with the Jet 2, and then I also brought my alternative that I've been using up to this point, which is a 22 pistol, and I almost guarantee that the 22 pistol is going to blow right through this, and the Jet stands a chance of marring it up, but perhaps won't make it all the way through, and it'll make it more useful around things that I don't actually want to put bullet holes in. This is 21 feet, and you can see the piece of pine right there. And I was correct. I'll have a close-up there for you guys to see that, but that pellet is embedded, and I want to say that it's probably 2 mils below the surface, but you can see the pellet there, and if I rotate this around, it did not make it through. So here's the 25 caliber pellet from the Jet 2, and here is the 22 long rifle out of the Scorpion. And the verdict is, yeah, blew right through the back of it. Which was, pretty much what I figured was gonna happen, and that's why we're out here doing this here today. And I'll throw something in here so you guys get an idea of why I'm concerned about this, because it's not really a problem that I put holes in the box. It's as it carries through the box, all the stuff that's inside. The insects have a tendency to cross-link anything that they can walk through, and it's already a pain in the ass enough to get the things apart without them gluing them together crossways. Anyway, let's move on. Through the can. Through the can. Through the cone. Through the cone. Through the cone. Through the drum. Not through the drum. Through the other drum. Through the magpul. Yeah, through the magpul. And then lastly today, the Jet 2 comes in a couple different variants. What they've done here is they put their QE on front, which is their integrally suppressed technology. I'm interested up here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chambers for a sort of break, in addition to that segment that is the baffle. So I'm interested to see how much actually comes out of this. And first we're going to start off with a piece of paper. Big old berm down there. Basically no damage to the paper. I think I made it around maybe twice. So let's get rid of that. And let's see what happens with my hand over it. Again, big berm done range. Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I would say that this is a redundant feature here. So as far as my critiques are concerned, I would say, hey, you've already done the space, just go ahead and increase the number of baffles all the way up. And I'm not saying that the suppressor portion of it isn't effective. I'm just saying that there's no reason whatsoever to have these ports up here, unless there's some kind of legal thing that I am missing, but I don't think that there is as far as importation is concerned. So that is my critique. I would say that this is unnecessary, and we can just go ahead and eliminate that in future iterations. Now, the other thing that I would say is that gives us all of this extra space, because that's one of the things I really liked about like the Jet pistol. This kind of comes right up to the end of the bore, so it looks kind of like this space-aged thingamabob. If you know that you're going to have all of this space, you get for free this much volume that you could use. So Hatsan has an opportunity to expand the gas load of this it's not a firearm, this I was gonna say this firearm, but it is not a firearm, this air rifle for free. And not that it needs any more gas. Basically you get like 5 changes of the magazine before you run out of gas, so that's not really a problem, but you get it for free, and that pressure at the top end is going to result in more consistent velocities. Once you get all the way down to like the last magazine, that velocity is going to fall off, so that gives them that much more to carry on board. And again, that doesn't cost you anything except for the weight, which this thing is super light, the weight of the tubes, and the gas, negligible increase in weight. So anyway, that is what I have to say about the Hatsan Jet 2. Thanks for tuning in to the VSO Gun Channel, and hopefully we'll see you on another one here pretty soon.